Tonight I am going to talk about the benefit of driving on full self-driving or FSD. How, to me, in most cases, it is actually safer than when I drive myself. I will say for myself that I am not the greatest driver. And if you know me, have driven with me, you could probably see that at times. I tend to be over the road, and maybe I'm just a little complacent, but something I always have to watch myself to make sure I pay better attention. I have had some accidents, nothing major, just some fender benders. I don't remember exactly how many, but some of them, a few of them were not my fault, but others were. And a lot of it was I had a device in my hand, I was looking at something, I wasn't paying attention. I think one time I was looking at a map to see where I was going, and I looked up and this car stopped and I didn't see them, and I bumped into them and hit them. Another time I was looking at my phone, looking at an email, and I ran into somebody else. So it happens, we get distracted. Well, one thing with full self-driving is, even though right now we have the vision monitoring, you have to really pay attention to your driving. So I feel like I am a much better driver when I'm on FSD, or when my car is driving me, than when I drive myself. And I wanted to demonstrate an example. If you take your phone and you put it in your hand, for example, let's say I want to look up how many people and there, barely before I can start typing, it's telling me please pay attention. And if I keep this in my hand, it's going to keep beeping at me and flashing farther, and it will actually disengage, and it will not let me. It'll disengage, and I have to take over, and I cannot use full self-driving until I stop, put it in park, and then it gives me a message that says you have a strike, and you get 5 strikes, and after the 5th strike you cannot use FSD for 1 week, so you're in FSD jail, so to speak. So I don't think I have any strikes right now, so I'm going to take one for the team and demonstrate how easy it is to get a strike. So I'm going to type how many people text and drive on average. So you can tell, oh, see, there we go. Auto steer is unavailable. Now I had to take over. So now I cannot, if I try and engage, see, now someone's beeping at me because I'm not driving very good. It won't let me disengage. So now I have to drive manually for the rest of this trip. So it shows you how strict it is when you drive with full self-driving and having to pay attention. So a lot of people get very critical about full self-driving, or they're nervous or scared of how safe it is. But from my personal experience, I am a much better driver when I use it, and it helps me to see things that I don't always see. Now that does not mean it's not going to make a mistake. You still have to sometimes, you have to pay attention currently and make sure that the turns that it makes, or when it comes to a stop sign, that it clears and goes on time. I also have found that it actually follows the laws better than any human. One thing that some people have a little frustration on is stop signs. It comes to a complete stop every time you come to a stop sign. And most people, they'll stop, but they'll do the little rolling stop, you know. Cops even do the rolling stop. So it's very strict at that, and I hope it actually gets more human-like, because it almost feels like sometimes you're driving like a grandpa or a grandma when you're driving, but it literally is just being safe. And it is getting better. It is getting more natural as they keep improving with the updates. We have an update that should be coming hopefully this week or next week, that everybody is eagerly waiting for. But again, my point is, it is very safe. One more thing I will say that people want to point out that I've been reading lately is, even though it drives you 99% of the time and you feel like it's full autonomy where you could actually sleep or work or actually be on your phone without paying attention, that is something I do feel is very near or very close. They're even saying in Texas and in California that with the latest version of FSD 13 that hopefully they're going to be releasing later this fall or next spring, which they've actually been beta testing with employees currently, as we saw in the robotaxi event last week or 2 weeks ago. They said that their goal is to release unsupervised FSD in Texas and California if it passes federal regulations. Now, the difficult thing with this is you need to have it working more than 99%. You know, it has to be better than humans for safety. And they talk about that 99.9%. That last 0.9% is probably the hardest to overcome. The very difficult situations. You drive into a parking lot, you get into a corner, doesn't know whether to back out, or when you turn into a parking lot and it only can go one way and you can't go out where the exit says exit only, is it going to turn around and not go that way and go out the correct exit? You know, those type of scenarios, will it do? Currently it does not. Like if I go to a Quick Trip or a gas station, it keeps trying to, if I turn the right one way, it'll keep trying to go out this exit and I have to disengage and go out the other exit. I'm hoping, well, I'm confident in time as they keep improving the builds, it will be able to accomplish that. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight how when you drive, it is very safe, and you can't even drive with a device in your hand. Like still, I cannot engage. It's telling me auto steer or autopilot unavailable for current drive. I have to actually pull over, and actually when I get up here, I will demonstrate. I'll pull over and show you the error message that it gives me. And I now have a strike. How you get rid of your strikes is if you have a 1 week with no strikes, it will forgive your strike, forgive you of your FSD sins. So I'm just gonna pull over off the highway here so I don't take too much time. And I will put it in park and I will show you what error message that it gives. So if I put it in park, there. Autopilot feature warning. It detected that I had improper use. Auto steer FSD will no longer operate 4 more times with strikeouts, and I click OK. So now I just got a strike and I have 4 more times, and then I will lose my ability to have full self-driving for a week if I do it 4 more times. So again, it puts a lot of safety features in place, and it really helps you to see that they work really hard to provide a autonomous way of driving, but yet still keep you safe and those around you safe as well.